Gabby the game night, Gabby the game night, Gabby the game night, yay.
Hey, it's Gabby the Game Night here. I'm back playing some more things. So I Ace Attorney Twice into remember this, yeah? It's February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Code number 7. And we have no fucking clue who killed Maya Faye. I'm probably Morgan, but how? Okay, anyway. Now then, before we proceed any further, we're going to announce the results of the test we have performed on.
Tests?
Yes, on the knife, you dumb. On the blade dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh, yeah, that. I totally forgot about it.
I didn't.
That's
the weapon that... That's my voice, you fuck.
That's the weapon that Maya Faye used when she fought the victim. I know your story, Godot.
I don't.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...
Due to time constraints, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on the dagger is not the victim's blood. Okay. That's all. Now then, let's restart this trial. That doesn't really tell us much.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it?
Maya's?
Morgan's?
Yeah. Sure, both the defense and the prosecution know this, but the trial's rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence of the claims. I mean, Dahlia claims she did stab Maya. Or was she trying to stab Maya?
I don't know.
I mean, Maya doesn't look like
I don't think she claimed that she actually stabbed Maya. I think she just said she pulled
Yeah.
out the dagger and then lost consciousness. She said she didn't know what happened.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
I understand, Your Honor.
From what I heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly.
Agreed.
Agreed. Very well, please bring in the last witness. Hi, Maya. Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Faye. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices. Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the crane channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Faye clan. I don't want any more to do with it.
Honestly, can't read more.
I don't think I'm doing Maya's voice quite right. Oh, Maya. The pain the Faye bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Faye. When the event occurred, were you in the garden of the inner temple? You were in the garden of the inner temple. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And you witnessed the moment of release during the murder. That's correct.
I didn't see anything.
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But I...
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" And something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So it was struck on the head. I suppose it must have been the staff.
Maya, the person who hit you, it was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Huh. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. Seems it'll be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there.
I dropped my water bottle.
Why'd you drop your water bottle, Nick?
I'm the judge, not Nick.
Why'd you drop your water bottle, Judge? She doesn't look well at all.
At the inner temple, gonna press the shit. Sorry, Maya, I need more info quick.
Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course.
Yeah,
But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said? Well, let me think. She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was prepping for the training. Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. You didn't see the person. But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry. I just can't remember. Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
Press her harder!
Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was, Oh, yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it.
It was dark.
It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that fact as well. So it's dark in the garden at the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony this far, the identity of the attack was most likely
The spirit that was channeled by at least an M, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape. I think. You think. After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time.
Well, now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
Not at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what'd you do then?
You think you screamed, but you're not sure. Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man? A woman? An adult? A child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear. I should have saw in my robes.
I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, sounds like poor old Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do? Do I press her for more details? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me." Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, that's like, what do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh, yeah, Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's why I was screaming for help. Ah! What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
What do you mean?
Huh?
British, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another... Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Unless you're right and it was pearls. And that's why Maya's covering up.
I don't know.
I meant to keep that part a secret.
You meant to lie in court?
What have I done?
Huh. Takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure?
You're the court of law here. Can't make things up or try and hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you added to your testimony. A man?
Okay, never mind. I guess it was Godot.
What?
I guess we have just been waiting for Godot.
What?
A man? Who is this man?
No, it wasn't really.
Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see? Or she just said that to throw him off the scent of the pearl. She's used this excuse twice now.
Oh.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training.
Oh, it wasn't lit that night, according to the other testimony.
Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker, who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. I mean, wasn't Sister Bikini who said it wasn't able to be lit?
But not lit the crime. You're lying!
So there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise the Nim. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
God, this case is a fucking roller
The killer.
coaster.
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
How I Killed Your Mother, the new series.
What is the meaning of this, Mr.
Oh
Wright?
yeah, that's why. Look, fucking,
To be frank, Your Honor, I
Dang.
think she's in shock and quite confused.
Same.
That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. Cup of cafe. I light.
Cafe au lait.
I don't. Cafe au lait? Not even legal. Mr. Wright's words are the milk and you are the spoon. Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bot, I have, you know. Huh. You must have noticed it too, Wright. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why I shouldn't make a little mistake like that.
Sorry, but that's not going to cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick. May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man.
Does Godot's fire zone met light?
In other words... Well, no, because then you wouldn't be able to see him because the light would be coming out of him. He'd be in darkness.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically, but still.
That would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
I mean,
if you just mean you mean she just saw it lighting up.
I mean, yeah, even just that.
I guess, but then she wouldn't be able to tell it was. I guess it could just have a glow, perhaps.
Yeah,
that would work.
Order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? I saying Miss Faye saw the real killer in the pitch black condition. Why would Godot even be that? This makes no sense at all. I'm so confused. Dwight, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could you have seen in the dark? There's no other light source at the scene. I'm so confused. confused.
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
Cover for the man that killed her mother?
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Huh. Took a good game to fight, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It's pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please, stop.
Give me a sec, I'm saving, because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
There's no way it's Godot. Why would she be covering for him?
I mean, he did save her life.
I mean, I know, Godot was friends with her sister.
Yeah, and saving her life. She has reason to cover for him.
I suppose. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you got. Who was this person they say misplaced on the box? I mean, just looking through everyone.
I mean, yeah, if we've got to present somebody, we've only got like 2 men. Well, 3 with Larry, 4 with Edgeworth. We know it ain't Edgeworth. He wasn't even in the country.
It wasn't Edgeworth. He wasn't, yeah. We know Larry was on the other side.
Larry's on the wrong side.
Gumshoe
There's no reason to think Gumshoe
was on the other side of the bridge.
could have been there.
Every guy was on the other side of the bridge, or, you know, on in a whole different country.
Yep.
No, like, what?
I can't believe I said this back at the fucking beginning. As a joke, and it was really true.
Oh, God.
Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily.
We've guessed a lot of things in this case.
I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yeah?
What? How do you propose to show something like that?
Turn off the lights. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
That was quick. What? But it can't be. Huh. God damn. That was a nice bit of deduction. Right. All glows in the dark. Why was Godot there?
Yeah, how did he know about the plan? Because we've already established it had to be someone who knew about the plan.
I mean, did he find out about the plan somehow and that...
Anyway.
That's why he was there?
This is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Damn. Where'd Mia go? Order! Order! Prosecutor Godot, what's the meaning of this?
I killed that bitch.
Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why are you denying it? Huh.
Maybe he does have some connection with Iris, though, because remember, Iris answered the phone and was willing to help that person.
Yeah. You're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? Got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night. Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya. I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. What? That was me, not Phoenix. Just for the record.
No, Maya's totally lying at this point. Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? I mean, no way. If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Maya's still covering. She's gotta be. I don't fucking know. I'm so confused. Alright. I don't fucking know. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but...
This is a case.
When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
Oh, a woman can't commit murder? So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor,
No need to apologize. As Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you'd be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed to get cross-examination. No.
So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple.
Could have been the killer.
That's what I think, too.
Could have been the killer. Pans to Godot for a moment.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple.
It's a pans to Godot every time killer is said. Phoenix.
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again.
Okay, so press through all this and then press that again. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
The torches were lit?
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer.
To make sure Maya isn't framed.
The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well. Let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
And all... Oh, yeah, I have to read that. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow. It did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. Yeah, they were trying to clean up the blood, but they couldn't see the blood on the lantern, so that does make it look like Godot.
God damn.
Why could he not see it on the lantern, but he could see it in the snow? It's still red on white. It's really weird.
Maybe he couldn't see it in the snow. He just cleaned up the snow and so like, I'm pretty sure there's blood here.
Yeah, I don't know. Or something from the light from the lantern covered some of it and not some of it.
Yeah.
They're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use.
Odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take the snow away?
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze. There's one thing I can think of, Your Honor. Achoo. Sorry. Bless you, Phoenix. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. The area I collapsed ended up being splattered.
Splattered? Like in Splatoon?
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow.
Talking about fucking blood splatter. I'm like, yay, Splatoon!
I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. The killers was wanting to hide the snow with blood on it. There's no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
Yeah, he couldn't see the blood, so he just scooped out a large area. It looks like there's some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
Does he see in, like, all red? Does he have constant Virtual Boy vision?
I don't know. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on.
Which one was it that? On the press again?
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's only an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. They did it for your sake. Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems, too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Crane killed my own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
Still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? Yeah, I don't have evidence as for why. I can put Godot again!
I mean, you could just click on her sister.
Yeah. That. What should I present?
I present her sister.
Okay.
I mean, make sure you do it at the right place.
I mean, presumably the new one.
I guess. I mean, the judge just literally asked the question. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. Now, that seemed like an odd place to present it either way. I mean, there wasn't a chance to respond to what the judge said, because he was like, why would he do that?
No. I think it's got to explain that. Does this Godot work? No. I mean, let me see. I mean, we gotta have some evidence as to why. Somewhere here, why, somewhere here, somewhere why, somewhere why.
I mean, you could present the plan, because, like, they knew the plan, but...
Present the line, like, hey, he got into the line because Godot.
I understand, but what does that have to do with, I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up?
I'm just saying, cleaned up everything but the lantern.
Well, no, I understand that you're trying to
Godot.
put on Godot. I just don't understand why it fits with that particular piece of testimony. Okay, see, you were right this time. That's like, what, 2-1 now?
Look, we're a team here.
The body of Elise the Nim was
It doesn't
carried...
matter how much either one of us sway.
The body of Elise the Nim was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime. The snow that we suspect was covered in blood and scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh, and what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya.
Huh?
If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah, you're right. Order. But, Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
You know, if he really wanted to protect Maya, he could have just come forth in the beginning and said, yeah, I killed her, protecting
yeah,
Maya,
but...
and it just seems like he's going to a lot of trouble for something that could have been really simple.
I mean, what's better than protecting Maya? Protecting himself and Maya.
Okay, but if he killed somebody in or in defense of somebody else, I mean,
I don't know.
It seems pretty justifiable. I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's the fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written blood on the lantern? Didn't see it.
Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there.
Godot did all this to test Phoenix.
If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
If I had a nickel for every time the prosecutor in the final case was also the killer, I'd have 2 nickels. This isn't a lot, but it's what that happened twice.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There is no way any normal person would.
What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident, who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
Who would that be? Guess who? Guess who? It's Godot!
Mr. Godot,
Blue's gonna do.
this is what you said yesterday. That was
My
just yesterday?
sight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern? There's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood.
Nonsense.
That's my
I know.
Nonsense.
I already
This
did it.
lantern
You could just let it go.
is clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see. Correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
Oh, we did.
I don't even remember that.
This is the apron the delightful Miss Bud was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on. Something's still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain that occurred? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-covered stain that's made all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about bloodstain. I forgot about that.
You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Huh. It's strange. The black and white photos letters will appear black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason I don't drink red tea.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer?
I can't believe it either.
But there's no going back now.
This case is awesome.
I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Ms. Elise Denem, also known as Ms. Misty Fey.
It's hard to believe this may be true, however. Once again, Mr. White has brought up
Disquieting?
disquieting fact about you. What kind of fucking know? Huh. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink grabs. Come on. How does a low graffiti make me into a killer? Besides, it's not like my name. It's my name that's written there.
I'm certain the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is Rich. Do go on, fight.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
Snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If you wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't you take just that area? Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
It is more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark.
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine.
It seems. Once again, this trial's taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Yeah, I killed her.
Wait just a minute.
Maya?
What is a witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Maya. You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm...
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't. I'm afraid I don't follow.
Oh, you see now, old man. We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya. Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's see her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Huh. Nicely done. Fight.
Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened in the inner temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearlie?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry, but you heard from someone else simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, man. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Huh. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot?
Let's move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started.
After the incident. I guess I should press everything.
So where did you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did you go to the inner temple in the first place?
It seems the Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise the Nym. She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end. Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times. The inner temple side has 2 structures, the training hall and a spare prep room. And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it. There was a storage shack, too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined the storage shack all that carefully? Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
That means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the stores. Okay.
Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge. What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Oh, well, Pearl said she was sleeping at the same time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl. All alone like that.
Well, we know she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling that with the trick lock.
She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
So it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Godot?
That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the Prince ask me a question?
Mr. White, please save your questions for the witness.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible in testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Touche, Mr. White. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the inner temple, huh?
Huh. You want to say something, Wright?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Well, please go on with your testimony. Fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right?
Yes, then Mr. Godot.
It'd be so funny if in this picture there's like a Godot in the background that we didn't know. It's like, oh shit, Godot was there.
He cheered her up.
That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
Here I was then, you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Huh. Cut it out. You're making me blush.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves, in more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Godot style.
I'm the same
Open
way.
Godot style.
I like to hand down my verdicts in my own way, judge style.
Open judgment style.
Tell me about your investigation, sir.
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
Looks like my investigation went up as well as yours, Wright. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Oh, he's gonna say he saw Misty Faye on the poster, and he couldn't have if he came later because Pearl's covered up with...
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry, if I'm right.
Spoilers for my guess.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Mommy Faye, naturally.
that hot mommy on the wall.
Clad in a stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes. Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So they headed for the prep room.
Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed at least an M.
Yeah, I'd like to. Okay, can I present it here or something?
Maybe.
Okay. It was weird sometimes with the way you present things.
Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot was right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell? Does he have the whole scroll, gravy, and all?
The morning after... Well, I don't think they cleaned the gravy off. I don't know that it would smell that good by now.
And does it have a picture of anything to support the whole scroll?
I mean, that is usually how evidence works in court.
Yeah,
And
but
sometimes
still.
you have photographs. It just depends.
Yeah, but...
The morning after the crime, someone covered
How
it
much
with
stuff
gravy.
does Finks keep in his pockets?
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fey.
Well, wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark...
You could guess that there's a picture of Misty Fey on there.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Wright?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene.
Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
What did you say?
What did you say?
Sorry, that's you. I got excited.
Is it really possible that another person knew the plan?
I mean... Opened once before. I mean, the letter's the only thing with the plan.
I forgot about the open once before part.
Same. It was planned over a year ago?
This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been sealed.
Unsealed?
That's what I said. The killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
You still insist this crafty killer is me.
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center?
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Order, order, order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire again!
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. So is he just going to go and kill Pearls then?
What?
Well, he knew that Pearls was supposed to
Well, maybe he had some other way of stopping.
channel the spirit originally. Well, maybe he didn't know that, but he knew
Yeah.
that's who was going to in the plan that he was trying to intercept.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in a temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness.
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got nobody to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. And what you see, I'm certainly not the type to rescue this damsel in distress.
Killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural.
However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
I always figure it out.
Maya,
I am, and
I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Wright, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your Honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
No, who is that? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart.
And also Diego shattered a coffee cup with his bare hand.
She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise.
I don't know why he did that.
But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
I had a much different voice back then. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It's been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. Very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see.
My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
The worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I'd already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. The woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Huh. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away the best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. It was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, Wright.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would have died, much less the way she did. Never would have died, much less the way she... So I can speak. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor?
My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Mia Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You're the only way I can make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that goal from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. I guess. If Pearls had known what the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Father Curt Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall on my backup plan in case we couldn't control poor Fey.
But how did you contact my mother?
I feel like there was a much simpler way to go about all this, honestly.
Yeah.
If you knew of the plan.
She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said the Master of Karain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all the time. This time, that's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. For I know how strong her resolve to protect you was. Look at her staff.
Her staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out was soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
I don't even remember how I did her voice, I'm sorry.
Well, pal, what are you going to do tonight?
I don't think that was
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Mr. Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
what? What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Crane, Misty Fay's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that poor Fay wouldn't be able to.
Ah!
What? Is this true?
My one plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Wright.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's one question remaining, Mr. White. Who killed the victim? There are two possible suspects right now. Maya Fay. I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
I mean, it's obvious, but... Well, Wright, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of doubt you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick, please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me, too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick.
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Fay, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moment before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
These red lights. Now you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Huh. Think break it, Wright. Even the best theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Fay? Looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well, then, Mr. White, proceed with the final cross-examination of the witness.
Light shining in the dark. I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure that they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
That's when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the motor weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the motor weapon. What happened after that?
She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
Struck back. How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of the breathing and movement, and also the smell of blood.
You've witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. So then, what'd you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so, but...
They went out?
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean?
If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight.
Maybe the mask was damaged?
Or maybe it was knocked off.
Maybe the batteries ran out. Right.
Maybe those little red pinhead looking things just stopped looking. Looking like, yeah, so.
What could have really happened then? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. It was a man's voice.
What? So then that scream came from the killer?
That's got to be it. Yoda? Last episode, the judge was Mr. Krabs, now he's Yoda?
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
Okay, the judge a Muppet, Mr. Krabs a Yoda.
Depends on the episode.
And the killer let her scream of pain, huh?
That's these three episodes thumbnails. The judge is a Muppet, the judge is Mr. Krabs, the judge is Yoda.
The Triforce of pigs, like...
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
No, that bloody knife has got Godot's blood on it.
Well, Mr. Wright, seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, I honestly messed up with that because we were talking about the Muppets. What did you say?
She said that the killer stole the weapon, the killer stole the weapon back and struck the final blow. I'm not sure where the contradiction is.
So she's saying that that Dahlia had the weapon, the sword?
You're saying that Dahlia had the sword temporarily, yeah.
Probably not.
I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my ducks are almost certainly never quacked.
Remember the testimony she just gave. Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with the sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer. Fight.
It's only one thing that I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
Yeah. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? My attorney's back. The dagger.
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well.
Just because the lad screamed doesn't mean that he was wounded. Okay, I would never get wounded. I mean, the killer would never get wounded. For, the blood on that dagger could have been from the victim.
Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So you're saying the blood in this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. I don't have blood, only coffee.
Nice theory, Wright.
Order on the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test.
Huh. Let me ask you something, Wright. Let's say that I turned out as the killer. Do you really think I'd be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found mowed by a detective and brought to me. There's already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, that proof.
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be.
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Wright. That blood doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. Whose blood did he pour on, man?
Now you've been established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, Menace. Take your testimony.
Hold it. Wait a minute.
Well, what's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya?
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes. That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
That's right. Once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple.
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Is under his mask?
Order in the court.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike would shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well, then maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. He's just out there naked? That way he wouldn't get any blood on them.
Mr. Godot, you said what
Out there on a cold, snowy night, buck naked except for his mask. Just little Godot swinging around in the breeze. Okay, you gotta Photoshop a naked Godot with like some pixels over it. On there too.
That's impossible to fight. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
If I don't see a thumbnail with Yoda on the bench and naked Godot in the corner, I'm gonna be pissed.
Huh. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, Mia Fey were here. Mia Fey were here. She would have closed the book on this case away. Alright, well let's see if you got a wound. Strip. Right now.
If Mia Fey were here.
So come on, Dwight. Can you do it or not?
How about Mr. Wright? Could Mr. Godot being the killer? Can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. It's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it.
Ha! That's good. A fight to the bitter end fight. Isn't there just one piece of evidence that can prove your point? No! I will enter a little bit tomorrow and say
why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Wright.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's see what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But it's either impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by the dagger, there should have been bloodstain on his clothing.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. The file stopped fight. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location? Where's this location? Can I just show Godot?
Unless, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, because the mask isn't in.
Show Godot. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. In that fight. Yo, do I gotta stand? Phoenix gets a stand? What was that just now? Mia? It's can't. Why are we in Godot's head now? Is that stand power? You're living on through him.
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound.
Oh, that's badass. That's so badass.
It's beneath your mask.
That's so badass.
During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
This case reminds me a lot of the final case of the first game. Oh! That was terrible. I don't want to like to shout. Just now, I saw a spirit in you.
And now I love you.
Kiss me, Phoenix Wright.
Edgeworth. Objection! He's mine! Anyway.
How about I kiss both of you? I never liked you. 6 years ago. You helped the woman who put me asleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. To be fair though, Phoenix also held on to that evidence for a while. Once they really used. Phoenix with the ring just got caught. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot.
But I was wrong by you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find in my heart to forgive was me.
Yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask and lured my true name. Couldn't deal with being a defense to him, so I quit.
But you saved Maya.
Yeah, that was my plan.
I mean, it was a really
Up
clunky
until
plan
just now, anyway.
that could have been accomplished a lot, with a lot less blood, but...
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I'd really want to save you, there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason.
No. Why?
I suppose. I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night in the darkness of the garden where I saw a silhouette. That's kind of a badass image. Imagine if he was naked.
Okay, so just Photoshop him naked there and a little Yoda in the corner. People would be like, what the hell's going on here? I gotta watch.
The truth that wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there for me. That image is kind of a giant spoiler, but still be hilarious.
Well, the game is how many years old now?
A lot. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. Not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could have been simply a desire for revenge. And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. A stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. Epic scene. In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is
Diego Armando.
Diego Armando.
Who spoke an Australian accent, so I don't even know what that voice was.
Mr. Armando,
At least in our world he did.
I believe in you.
Because I don't do a good Latin accent.
I know you were trying to save me.
He's a Sonny switches back. Oh, he's Sonny playing. Thanks.
Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding.
Yeah, he's a Sonny switches back to too.
Oh, did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Okay, I'm switching back to those voice.
Tears?
Tears!
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You'll do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Why is Godot always bleeding at the end of these trials?
They never had him take the mask off because they didn't want to mix a new Sprite for Godot.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it?
It's over, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Iris is still here.
Yes, Your Honor?
She's still trying to accomplish the murder, but yeah, it's fine.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder. Tampering with the body and crimes is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing.
I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize? To me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny.
You? You mean...
That's right. I lied to you. For 8 months.
But why? Why'd you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could, because of the police investigation and their surveillance. She couldn't move about freely, so that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place?
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Notice what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Iris?
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
I see you're no longer bleeding.
I wiped it off.
How many cups of darkness have I drunk over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Godot then died from drinking way too much fucking coffee. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Was the trial rule on the murder of the victim? At least you know. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your roles and accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant.
Phoenix and Godot sharing a cup of coffee at the end.
Court is now adjourned. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, defend lobby number 1.
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia, I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand, too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases, seen a lot of things, and along this journey I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick,
Maya.
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see, me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too? We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Francisco.
Francisca?
Still as soft as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
That's right, with a new dream team. If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his feet with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too. Francisca? I don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry. What's with the longer than usual face?
Thanks.
Why are you mocking me, Nick? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. But that's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh, yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
What? Me?
Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy?
Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance.
Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well too? Ah! My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon.
There's nothing to say.
Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, Francie's Whippity Whip. Don't get carried away.
Alex, I need a book drawn. I'll write the words.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Pearls?
Yes,
Where
she
could
was
she have
just
gone?
here.
Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly.
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. I can talk.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Franziska. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone else who hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying to be her best not to cry.
Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth. I think I'm starting to understand, too.
Ah! Then tell me Phoenix Wright. Who is Maya Fey being strong for?
Paul?
Nah, it's Gumshoe.
Get down.
Pearl Fey.
Poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
But the cruel irony that was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed and Maya herself was burned to the deepest peril imaginable.
And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she can see her smile again.
Oh, hi, Gumshoe.
Oh, hey! So this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we've got quite the bunch here today. Oh! What was that for, sir?
Phoenix Bunch.
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's alright.
Do you even have salary at this point?
I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. Oh, you don't mean. Très bien! Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. We can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby. You're invited, too.
Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes.
No.
You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back.
You two will not be at the lower sack.
She's still out looking for pearls.
Eating potatoes.
Oh, Maya. What's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all?
I thought so too, so I called the village.
She couldn't have gotten there that fast. She was just here a minute ago.
This has never happened before.
She's on the couch over there. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick.
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the...
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, Wright.
We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to.
The White and Coal offices? Ah, damn. We climb all the way out back of the mountain, goddamn!
Again, she was just with us like 5 minutes beforehand!
Hazakura Temple?
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
It's like an hour-long drive.
What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister
I
Bikini.
don't know how long a drive it is.
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearly is here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Still not sure how she got here so fast.
Oh, hey, this cleaned up Mommy Faye.
Pearlie's not here.
Maya, the hanging scroll.
Huh? Someone cleaned it off.
It's gotta be Pearl's.
Ah! Missing Maya!
Pearlie? Why? Why did you just leave like that?
Missing Maya. Missing Maya! I swore that I'd never troll the two of you ever again. Because it's all my mother missing Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do to pray for your happiness. Come down.
You don't have to do that, Pearlie. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy.
You don't have to lie, just make me feel bad.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do.
Missing Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini. Your mama, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Corinne, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
That's gonna be a lot sooner than you think.
Oh, kind of awkward. I should have repeated that part. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the master's talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart that would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents.
What's inside?
That's...
A photo?
Mother?
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
Who keeps breaking that frickin' on?
Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Well, should we get going? Everyone is waiting. Pearls? You became a duck?
I did not crack, sir.
This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. I'll come back for training anytime.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start, too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master.
Isn't she like the present master at this point?
I mean, yeah.
I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 when you come back.
Actually, hasn't she been the master since her mother was gone?
Well, no, it was only after, like, so many years of her mother being gone. But, you know, now that her mother's dead.
Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearlie. You know why? because training is a battle of endurance.
Okay, Missing Maya. I ate lots and lots of food tonight, Governor.
There's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but
What is it, Nick?
reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
I don't need training.
Uh-huh. What is this I? You're not Phoenix.
Fine. Phoenix doesn't need training.
I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course, naturally.
Huh?
Am I gonna get to objection?
That's a great idea. After all, Miss Nick, you'd do anything for Missing Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right?
We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
I was wondering if I can say just one little thing.
Sure, of course you can.
I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goosebumps, too.
Well, then, here goes nothing.
That case was great. Damn good game.
I'll really have to work extra hard now. Master of Karain and the office manager of Wright and Co. law offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearlie, and Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
Or getting accused of murder.
So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Missing Maya's knight shining armor. He went through the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here, too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation.
Who's interviewing all of them? Or whatever.
That's Larry's new career. He's a documentarian now. Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Damn, they made a new sprite for him.
Yes, but somehow you don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more like
Detective-like.
so.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself, silly.
Prepared to Maggie voice.
One must be prepared for Maggie voice. One does not just do Maggie voice. Samus?
Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Karain exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip, and said that I must show you what I've learned.
Whip buddies. Whip lesbians.
I don't remember his fucking voice.
Dusty and I started a company called Mask to Mask Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is cut it out, please! Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals.
I don't remember her voice either.
I had to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don T. Gray, selling him $500,000 in a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise. Hee hee.
Is she trying to kill Phoenix?
I don't fucking know.
I'm just throwing it in the way. A wriggly, grumpy clown nose raised to flesh. At least that's what I thought. Well, my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and quite a baby with a dirty diaper.
Ha, 69.
My mother was 69 when she died.
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elg. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adamata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly.
Casey from Vassy commented on that.
My! More reporters?
scenes like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Irish to come back.
You turned into such a respectable man, Feeney. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
I don't have anything to say here.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the question. I'm just watching.
Mia Fey, Christina Catano, also Maddie.
Most of these are also Maddie, except for Angela. That's me. Oh, and Godot, that's me too.
Godot, James C. Wilson, also Gabby the Game Knight.
Screen go dark, I did. I was sure if that. Oh,
Francisca Von Karma. Janet Sue, also Maddie. Or Hugh, I'm not sure how the last name is pronounced, so I apologize.
That's also Maddie.
Winston Payne, David Crislip, also Maddie.
I wonder if he appears in the sequel trilogy.
Or was this the end of Phoenix Wright?
Of the original trilogy.
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one is here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I going to do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone? If I bring them over to Edgy Poo, I know I really can't accept these. I'm afraid of something just as painful and fragile heart. Oh, when will I ever find someone who will treat me like a refined lady?
The next game, I think, takes place 8 years in the future, and Apollo Justice is the main character. Phoenix is kind of the main character of the next two games, though. Him and Apollo kind of share the role.
I finally found something I love to do. Franzie's Whippity Whip Trip is going to turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good... Fuck you. I'm not a loser after all.
Despite all this making that when they read that line. Ah, damn. That's some good art, though. Two of those people are dead. Godot's in prison. Probably not dead, I assume. Capcom, then Mega Man appears. That's the next case. It's Mega Man. Alright. Well, thanks for us in this series, in this whole trilogy on Gabby Game Night. I do not know what I'll be doing after this, but I guess you'll see. Maybe the next trilogy, maybe something else. You'll find out when I get there. But like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Good service, and most importantly,
No more waiting for Godot.
good night.
Gabby the Game Night, Gabby the Game Night, Gabby the Game Night, yay. Come on and watch her play. New games every other day. If you subscribe now, you won't miss out on any of the action. So come on, click that subscribe button.